We are rolling up our sleeves here in the 207 kitchen because we are making chowders and stews with the king of chowders and stews, Don Morrison, from Morrisons Chowder House in Freeport and from Morrisons Maine, of course. He sells them through the mail, he sells them at the restaurant, he sells them all over the place. And you got something new for us this time, Don. What are we going to make?
Well, just in time for Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing a harvest pumpkin soup.
Harvest pumpkin soup.
It's a bisque, a pumpkin bisque. Very simple, very easy to make. Good thing for Thanksgiving, and you can get the kids involved. It's really a
and we're going to talk.
Recipe.
We'll sort of say the surprise as to exactly how it is served. That's half the fun of it. Let's get started. Where do we begin?
We're going to start with some butter.
Okay.
You melt the butter.
A lot of butter.
A lot of butter. That's what makes the soup good.
Okay.
And if you can keep that stirred up.
And we can mention that we're using the old Morrison chowder pot here, which goes back how long?
Well, at least that was my grandfather's pot, so at least 2 generations.
All right.
My uncle passed that along to me.
That all kinds of got decades worth of good flavors in there. In next, the onions.
We're going to put the onions in there, and then what I have is some pumpkin that we've baked the night before. You bake it for about 400 after you've cut it into these wedges.
Right.
Put it in the oven for about an hour and a half at 400 degrees, and then allow it to cool.
So that's nothing very complicated. People might get a little intimidated at the idea of baking a pumpkin because they probably don't do that normally.
It's very simple. And if you don't want to take the time to bake a pumpkin, you can easily use canned.
Okay.
Two cans of canned pumpkin.
All right.
And then what we do is after you've removed the meat from the rind, you take it, mash it up really well.
Be a good recipe to get kids involved in because kids always like to play around with pumpkins.
Exactly, it's kind of messy, and you can have some fun. And like you said, the real fun is serving this on your table. Once that's all mashed up,
that goes in. And again, it's not squash. People, if you just came in here 20 seconds ago, just turned the TV on, you might think it's squash. It's not squash. Pumpkin the whole way. There we go.
You could use squash if you don't have pumpkin.
Have you tried that?
Oh, yeah, you can use butternut, you can use acorn. Like I said, the best part about this is the way to serve it. So you cook that for, 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, so it doesn't take too long.
You want to season it with your salt.
Right.
Some white pepper. And then I like to use fresh nutmeg.
So you just grate your own?
Grate my own. Kind of goes along with the whole concept of what we do using the freshest ingredients we can get. All natural.
Very good. And there's something about nutmeg that the distinctiveness of that spice, it works very well with pumpkins and squashes and things like that.
That's for sure.
All right, what else we got?
Then we're going to sweeten it with some real maple syrup.
Excellent, excellent. Maine maple syrup, I hope.
Maine maple syrup.
Now this doesn't get too sweet, though. You just put in a modest amount, so you keep it fairly subtle, so it's there but not overpowering. We don't want a dessert bisque.
No, not at all. It's matter of fact, you really won't even be able to taste it in the end, but you'll miss it if it's not there.
Okay, yep, know exactly what you mean. What's this?
This is some chicken stock.
All right.
Just kind of thins out that pumpkin. And once that's stirred up and blended, we add the half and half. You can use heavy cream. You could use evaporated milk.
And that's more half and half?
Yes.
Half and half in both those containers? Okay.
Yeah, you want twice as much half and half as you do the chicken stock.
Okay. This is going to be rich, which is good.
Very
that's
rich.
A good thing.
It's a bisque.
To borrow a line from Martha. All right, that's it for ingredients?
That is it for ingredients.
So this takes now how long? You want to let this sit how long?
You want to let it simmer, bring it up to not quite a boil, but up to where it's hot. The best thing about this is just like any soup or chowder is to make it a day or two ahead of time.
It'll get better as it ages?
It will definitely get better.
All right, now this is pretty much what the final product will look like?
We made that yesterday,
right.
So after it's set and it'll get a little darker in color, it'll thicken up a little bit.
All right, now as you said, half the fun is actually in the way you serve it. So what are we going to do here?
What we've done is we've taken a pumpkin, just like you do a jack-o'-lantern, cut the top off, remove all the seeds.
Carve it out, yeah.
Being careful not to puncture through the outer shell.
Right.
You want to keep this intact. And then what we do is we take the soup, you actually pour it into the pumpkin.
And
you can set that on your...
You can serve it that way. Put that down.
Set this on your Thanksgiving table.
On the table and serve it right up. That looks absolutely wonderful. You ladle up me just a little bit and I'm going to take a bite. If you want to get the recipe for Don Morrison's pumpkin bisque, served in the pumpkin, just go to the website, WCSH6.com, and click on that 207 icon. That's really good. Oh, that's excellent. Really good. Wonderful Thanksgiving recipe or any time here for late in the fall. Don Morrison, always good to have you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more right after this.